Hello, my name is manarymostafi, and I want to present one presentation through a video. It's related to my course of trimester 1 of Masters of Counseling course, and this is related to MC01, and the topic is like authenticity, the foundation of effective counseling. And the main topic is like a scholarly study and personal reflection on a fundamental element of professional engagement. My name is manarymostafi and my ID is 1087732. Now I'm presenting my presentation. If we define the authenticity in counseling, there is a theoretical terms like we can define in that way: incorporating tenets of existential philosophy. Authenticity transcends self-expression and encompasses through self-analysis, and it's transcend to realness to presence. Here the use of self, we can state that Virginia Satir insisted that for skill interaction to be employed, a therapist must develop deep to discover their own authenticity. Now I want to focus on ethical accountability. Authenticity is an active pursuit of professional and ethical expression. It also is not a constant personality characteristics. Needs continuous contemplation about honesty in the instance, awareness about the influence of one existence. In week 11, in our slide, we found this topic, and there is a relationship in between authenticity and the therapeutic system. So there are some terms called beyond methodology, which is like authenticity approach therapy as a sincere human experience instead of a mechanical practice. And there are some other things like core essence and cornerstones of success. The core essence, the primary gift, is the counselor's ability to be real and alive, and the cornerstone success authenticity is the bedrock of developing therapeutic alliance. There is a term called neuroscience of presence and attunement. Interpersonal neurobiology, IPNB, explains the authenticity of a counselor and the resulting neurobiology transformation. There are two terms called presence and attunement, and the presence requirement for a connection is a state of being entirely open and able to hear another person's experience. And attunement is described as like intense observation and concentration of the other, creating a joint therapy space of internal aseptic to other. There is a term called resonance. I want to discuss about it, like the end goal of presence, that intimate social feeling of being felt by another. The resonance brain circuit can be stimulated when the three components are present, making the brain use mirror neurons, enabling the individual to make a connection that promotes neural and social transformation. The neural integration and the resonance circuit, there is a connection, so we can describe that way, like the resonance circuit to real therapeutic presence, and the neural integration, this interpersonal process promotes the binding of differentiated regions of the client's brain thereby supporting a greater degree of flexibility, adaptability, and coherence, and also stability. And the neurostructure is like the counselor flows to the client's brain some integration and disintegration process. Congruence and the authentic communication, there is a connection in between both of them. Like there is a alignment. So if we see here in this slide, like there is a model called Satir model. Congruence is how freely one may express his or her, their personhood. Requires complete harmony between words, body language, feelings, and inner experience. And authentic alignment, the opposite of defensive survival stances that shows fragmentation of states. In this slide, you can see the IPNB integration, and there are some clinical outcomes here also. Authenticity and counseling outcomes. Now I want to describe something related to the common factor models and the clinician as neuro architecture. According to Wambold, the therapeutic alliance is responsible for the greatest number of differences in therapy results. For any alliance to be effective, authenticity is the best basic element. This is called the common factor models. The personality of the therapist is more important to the outcome than the method used. It was said by Siegel. The clinician as neuro architecture. There is another term, the person-centered experimental modalities focus on presence over tools with some real connection, and the therapy shapes the flow of energy and the information we can get. Now I want to discuss about the importance of the authenticity in future practice in counseling. An ethical foundation, we can say, like the impact practitioners have because of their presence in one of the reasons authenticity is ethically necessity. It changes the nature of the therapy by creating an environment of genuine interchange instead of acting exercise. And there is a relational responsibility as well. If we lack a true being there, we likely end up embodying the very same patterns of fragmentation that our clients are trying to work through. If a client invests in self-reflection required, the counselor will also meet their deepest self. There are some connection between current self-awareness and growing ages. Developing strength and growing age. For developing strengths, we can say reflective insight is the skill to discern how your perception have been shaped by your past experience. Authentic intent is the real wish to providing your presence in the situation as opposed to just performing. Growing age is like emotional management, regulating one's own emotional response to client material, which reminds you of personal issues. And there are some other terms like survival stances and professional balance. Like survival stance, we can say knowledge of the inclination for a pressure-induced hyperfragile stance And the professional balance is called like maintaining your authentic emotional experience within the field's boundaries. And there is a connection between professional development and reflective practice. So clinical supervision, there we can see here the clinical supervision, the reflective practice is an ethical mandate and philosophical perspective. It works as an ethical mandate and philosophical perspective. Application of supervision as a relational container to practice attunement with my own experience. Reflecting on performance moments and on restoring authentic presence with clients. And there is a term called personal therapy. As therapists can only lead clients as far as they have personally been, and integration work becomes essential. There are some terms like mindfulness and presence and modality specialization. Utilize the wheel of awareness as a tool for developing integration awareness of when you start misengaging. And cultivate somatic awareness to recognize your own survival stances amid the complexity of therapy. And modality specialization is called broaden knowledge on person-centered therapy and other experiential approaches. In the last, I had some references which I had used for making the presentation. Thank you, everyone.